show your card. I saw somebody on Instagram say this the other day. He said, "Look, we waited all this time to get this shot. Y'all don't want to get it. That's fine. Nope. You can hot step your way everywhere you want to go to. No planes, trains, automobiles for you. You can walk. Okay. You
Straight
want to
up,
be hard headed,
straight
you
up.
can walk.
That's fine. Like I
And
mean, it's like that, bro. In order to get on a plane or to go across country, what do you have to have? A passport. Nobody argues with that, but whatever. Don't get the shot then, bro. Don't get the shot. But I'm gonna go around living my jolly life. Bloop, bloop. Flash, here's my card. Let me in this basketball game.
now I will say this. There, like, I don't know how many big places or events that you've been to since
Not
this
many.
all came down, but I have put the Moderna to the test a few times, and I came out Vegas clean. Okay,
Right.
but
Okay.
when I tell you I went to Vegas, and I just there's several places that I went as a kid. Like my dad was really good about taking us all around the country, all around the world. Right? Actually, it's funny when I was in Vegas randomly, a friend of mine from a few lives back was sending me pictures of the first time I was in Vegas for a basketball tournament. Right back in like I don't know in high school, Michigan high school, but still high school nonetheless. So I'm I'm in Vegas. I'm coming down the escalator in the hotel that I'm staying at, which is not, it wasn't like the Caesar's Palace or anything like that, but it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm on the strip. It's a decent spot. Um, and I'm just like, well, this is the worst place on the planet. And it's like every other place that I went to, I was like, oh, this place, Vegas it's got to be the worst place in my opinion, one of the worst places that people actually want to go and have a good time. It's incredibly hot, and it's just everything is like it's like plastic, and everything is like not. It's like from somewhere else.
It's not real. Yeah. I mean, dude, so I've been to Vegas two or three times. I can't recall. One time was with a girlfriend of mine at the time. And then another time, so maybe two times. Another time I was with was that three? I don't know. Either way, another time I was with our good friend Ty, right? Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm free, like, single, etc. Dude, you can't even talk to a woman out there.
Oh, it's fruitless. It's a fruitless
Oh,
endeavor.
like and that was the time when I was like, all right, I'm not coming back until I'm like with someone. Like
Yeah, and see, I will say
do
this:
it in a different way.
of all the times that I went to Vegas, sub the basketball one, right? Like the basketball one, that doesn't count because I was there playing basketball. But of all the times I went to Vegas, this
Yeah.
was by far the best time I've had in Vegas. And so I've realized what the key is. It's private events. That's the key to Vegas is doing things privately and roping yourself off and paying for the VIP experience, which I did not pay for, but I was with people who were paying for the VIP experience. It was funny because I got there Friday afternoon. I was like, all right, I got a long night ahead of me. Let me go down to the little hotel restaurant and get some food real quick. So I went down there and I'm sitting at the bar by myself, and the waitress is making conversation with me, and she says, "What are you in town for? Are you just here to hang out?" It's like and who's in Vegas by themselves, right? Like you're here by yourself. I don't, and I'm like sorta. I'm here for my boss's birthday party though, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna party by myself, but I'm definitely staying by myself. And she's like, "Oh, what's the plans for you?" And your boss's birthday sounds like that's kind of weird. It's like, "Oh yeah, he's having a roast at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club," and she was like, "Huh?" Yeah, and it was like, "Oh yeah," and then they rented out some restaurant Saturday night, and we're gonna be. She's always in a restaurant. I was like, "Oh, I had to look it up." Then I looked it up. It's called Major Domo Meat and Fish, which first of all,
I imagine you
I
ain't
mean,
lying.
I mean, yo.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I was like, "Oh my god, it was one of the best meals I've had literally in the last two
Any
three
any
years."
any place that has meat and fish, or meat or fish or whatever in the name of the restaurant is either extremely bad or like top of the line. Like
And
there is no middle ground.
and I'll give you this. Here's a trick. If you're ever in this environment where it's just kind of like open food, open bar, and you're in a really nice place, right? Follow the offensive lineman. Because I was talking to Jeff Schwartz as I was going through. This guy had me sampling everything. He had me sampling every single delicacy. Like every time the person walked past with something, he's like, "Oh wait, what's that? Oh wait, what's that?" And I'm over here just whirlwind, and it's just like, but listen, when I tell you, when we finally sat down, we had everything. People were walking past us like, "Where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from?" And I didn't have any answers. I was like, "You got to follow the man." I followed the man. Who knows it? The man with the plan, because that dude knew how to do it. But no, I had a blast. But I just, as my Vegas remarks is like, I feel like the moments in which I wasn't kind of with the party, where I was kind of in Gen Pop, Vegas is like America's Walmart. Now you go to Walmart,
Yes.
there's all types of people in a Walmart, right?
Yeah.
The other one is like you go to Walmart, there's all types of people in a Walmart. There's all types of people in Las Vegas. Like I think that if you were to take somebody who had never experienced America and you wanted them to go and see what an American person is like, and you spent them a week in Vegas, they would have a holistic, like from the range, the whole gambit, they would have a holistic experience of what, not necessarily the American experience, but they will be able to talk intelligently about American people.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, dude, most of the homeless people that are in Vegas went to Vegas for a good time and ended up with the complete opposite. So
I have no knowledge of, I don't know.
it's
Uh,
the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. I mean, I think the majority of the homeless population that's in Vegas were once people that were not. I mean, they didn't start out homeless. They weren't born homeless, but they ended up in Vegas, tried to make a little money, and ended up not making money. And you can't leave. You can't go home. But all that to say, I think you tweeted it. Maybe it may be in the notes. I would never want to live in Vegas though.
oh my goodness.
I would never. If I'm a resident, I'm moving out. Like
I have two friends. One from high school in Louisiana and one from college, who both live in the Vegas area. And I'm just like, dude, like it is so hot out here and it's just nothing to do. And I'll tell you this, the last thing about this Vegas trip, you Google it, right? You Google LA to Vegas, 4 hours, it says. Now I know that where I live in LA, that 4 hours could easily be 6 hours because it's going to take me to that long to get across LA, right? So I'm budgeting for like 5.5. Get there in 5, feeling good.
2 hours away.
Hmm.
Not to cut you off. Sorry, I said the movies make it seem like, because I've never done that trip, make it seem like it's 2 hours away, like it's right up the street. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm in LA. I'm gonna go to Vegas."
I will say this: the drive there isn't crazy, especially if you leave at the right time. Because and true, I found my little Fast and the Furious crew, so I'm pacing behind some guys who are going to cool 105. So I'm like. You know what I'm saying? I found some guys in between Barstow and the state line, California. So I've made pretty good time during that stretch. But TK, let me tell you, that drive back will turn you from a man and from a boy to a man. Okay, that drive back will put hair on your chest. Any other listen. If Baker, California, which is pretty much the midway point, had anything at all for me to lay down and take a nap, I would have laid down and taken a nap. It's just, it was no way I could justify, because every time I got out of the car, it was so swelteringly hot at 115 degrees that it was like, it's like, yo, go in the shade and take a nap. No, indeed. There's no way I'm turning off this air conditioning. So I'm not about to lay in a car and take a nap with the air on and pump this $450 gas, right? Not a chance. Not a chance. So you know what I did?
You were moving that slow that you got out the car?
Oh, I pulled off. But TK, it took me from, let's call Baker halfway between, right? It took me from 11 in the morning. I left at 11. I did not get to Baker until 4:30.
Yeah, that's wild.
So, in the time it took me to get from LA to Vegas, it took me halfway to get there. So I got out of the car, and I promise you not, I took my shirt off, because I took my shirt off and I did like gym class calisthenics. I did like 25 jumping jacks. I did some burpees. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just worked up a good little heartbeat. Got a cup of coffee and said, "All right, bro, we got to push it a little while longer. Let's see how much longer we can go." But I had to get my heart rate back up, bro. I was that tired where it was like I'm over here doing like literal workouts in 110. You know what I'm saying? Hit like a jog around the store real quick just to, man, I got to get the blood flowing and just kind of shake back because I feel terrible. And I got a good night of sleep the night before. I promise you. Like, I've been drinking, but I got a good night of sleep.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I've never not one time worked out mid drive. So
Well, I tell you this. I've never some of the drives that you do in California are not. They're not.
normal.
They're not real. There
Yeah.
are road trips that are not supposed to be. But
Yeah.
you were talking about going to Vegas and blowing all your money. And you put this on the notes, and I love it when this happens because something also came across the timeline as
Yeah.
well that
And
coincided
I
with the notes.
and I promise I did not get that from there. Like, cause I
Well,
started these notes randomly one night. Like, just
I'm
so
about to say the timing just didn't work out. I mean,
yeah.
you posted this well before 22 hours ago, but
Thank you.
we know that. They don't know that, but that's all right. Don't worry about our rap. There's no cap in it. But the tweet says, your best friend calls. Hey, I need $1,000 today. I can't explain why. And while I'll pay you back, I'm not really sure when. Can you help me out? And the question that you had initially asked was it? If you loan someone some money, what is the time frame on asking them for the return, and what is the dollar limit that requires that inquiry? So I think that those questions pretty much go in tandem, right?
Uh-huh.
Because at the end of the day, I may or may not at any given moment have $1,000. I definitely don't have $1,000 to loan to anyone. So if I have, and that doesn't really matter about my current financial status in general, right? This thousand
Well, yeah.
dollars like at the lifestyle I'm currently at, somebody called me, asked me for $100, it would depend. But I would tell you this to answer your question about what is the time frame when asking them on return. I'm never asking for it back. You just never ask me
Ooh.
for anything ever again.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm never asking for it back. I'm not giving
And
I'm not giving out, I'm not loaning money that I have to ask for back.
no, sure,
Right.
sure. Understandable.
Like, so I'm not giving you the 500 that I need to pay the books next week, right?
Hmm.
Especially not on some, hey buddy, I just need this or whatever. Now, to me, if I'm in a situation in which I need to loan money, I'm addressing you in a way that says, hey TK, I'm down 200. I'll have the 200 back on XYZ day, or I could get you 100 here and 100 there, or 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. We can set up this afterpay type situation. But I'm coming to you
Yeah.
with the solution of repayment as I'm making the ask of the loan.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're responsible. So the initial tweet, well, my question was initial, but the tweet that followed up that said they can't explain why. First of all, you don't really have to tell me why, but they say I'm not gonna tell you why. I don't know, you might get it back. Am I giving you $1,000? I don't care if I have $100,000 in my bank account that day. I'm probably not gonna give you $1,000. Like straight up. Like, I don't invest in things blindly. You could be taking my 1,000 to make it 10,000, quote unquote. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll pass.
All you need is a checking account or credit union
Yeah,
and a
like
Facebook status.
yeah. No, I'll pass. Like, so I mean, and like you just said, it goes into just in general, like $1,000 is gonna hit me as the person that wasn't born into money the same whether I have a whole bunch of money or not. Like I'll be honest, bro. I've been taking a look at and you love sneakers, I love sneakers. I'm taking a look at a pair of designer sneakers just because I've been telling my wife, hey, yo, I kind of want to get a pair of designer sneakers just because, like it's hot right now. You can afford it a little bit, may got to save up for a few checks or whatever. But, I've been looking at a couple pair of designer sneakers like, man, I might want to grab some. And every time, I promise you, every time I log into Alexander McQueen, Prada, or Gucci, and I see that price tag, that $700 hits me the same whether I just got paid or I'm broke. Like I look at it and I'm like, nah, let me go over to the sneakers app. I'd rather buy three pair of Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Like I could get three pair of Jordans for the same $700, and it's gonna hit the exact same because I'm not trying to impress none of y'all, and Piggy don't care what I got on my feet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just maybe I'm frugal with my money like that, but it doesn't matter if I got a whole bunch of money. I'm still gonna be counting. Hey, let me 2 + 2. No, nope. You overcharged me $1. Like, I'm sorry.
I've delved into. I have no designer shoes. Because I just you know what it is. I never had J's growing up, so I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
buy
Jordans
J's
are your
now.
design.
Yeah,
Jordans
like
are
F, like
your
forget
designer.
you. I was told my whole life that these threes was cold. Deal now, y'all gonna get these threes, okay? Y'all gonna.
All right.
That's just what it is. In fact, I was in the barbershop today, and a man complimented the barber on his threes. I want that same energy when I'm walking around in my threes because y'all been getting these compliments for 30 some odd years of my life. Mine only been in the last 5. Okay. So that's why, yeah, I want them. I see you, bro. Don't nobody see you for real, for real. You got the Alexander McQueen's
Hey,
on in
don't
the same way.
Hey, don't that hit though? I ain't even gonna lie. Like we're gonna come back to you on your designer sneakers, but like, don't that feel great though? Like when somebody points at your feet and they like, "Hey, bro, those fresh." Like,
Nah,
oh, that
the
look,
one I like, hey, where you get them? Where you get them from? I got
little
you. I got you,
little
cuz. I got
little
you.
spot
Little
up the
spot.
street. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
around the corner. North
Yeah,
North.
yeah, straight up. Just a little duck off, coffee shop. Straight up, straight up.
No, I've delved into like a little bit of the designer like t-shirt thing.
Yeah,
But well, that's also because like in LA, it's all you have to wear is a t-shirt. So
that's valid.
I can wear
That's
a
valid.
t-shirt every day of the year. And then also I'm not wearing a designer t-shirt every day of the year. I'm wearing it when I go places or I have a nice strategic rotation to where it makes it look like I have more things going on than I do.
And then if you repeat, just don't take a picture, right?
Even if I do take a picture.
Then who cares? Because I'm spending
Yeah,
my
bro,
hard-earned money.
even if I do take
like,
a picture,
like I
like
hate that, bro. I hate that. I hate that where we are in like as a society, like with that aspect where it's like, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm like that too. Like I'll look at my pictures or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I got a picture in these shoes, got a picture in these shoes. When I wear these again, I might want to get a picture, blah blah blah. Right? Like I can't lie, I think about that or whatever. But it's crazy because growing up, I mean, I have always been into sneakers. I wouldn't necessarily classify myself as a sneaker head. I like sneakers. I always have liked sneakers. I worked at the sneaker store. Shout out to Finish Line for a very long
mhm.
time. My grandfather always bought me sneakers. Like I was always into sneakers. I've had Jordans. I got my first pair in '97, the playoff 12s. But or yeah, that was '97, right? Yeah. But regardless, where was I going? Regardless, growing up, I've never been like the freshest man in the room. Like I've never been super fly. I've always been able to put clothes on. But like I remember in high school, bro, I pretty much wore the same clothes every week. And it wasn't like a big deal. Like nobody who cares? And it's
Yeah.
still like that to the day. I wear the same shoe or the same who cares? But like Instagram and the internet has drastically changed. These kids are going to school in like Dior's, bro. Like it's it's insane. It's insane.
I feel like though that when we were in high school, there were kids going to school in Pradas.
Yeah, I had some. I had some Pradas. I had some Pradas for sure. Shout out to JB.
Did I did not.
Yeah, but
JB
he
sold you his Pradas.
he sold me some Pradas. Yeah,
Okay.
from what I put two and two together, I think they were basically somebody hitting licks on
Somebody
me.
else's products.
Yeah,
JB told you
yeah,
somebody else's products. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't matter to me. I low key missed them Pradas, especially now that I realize how much they truly like cost. But um, yeah, but I said this on Twitter because I watched a video on YouTube about Detroit street racing, what they've been doing, or not racing, but they do the donuts, the
Hmm.
car show essentially, right? I watched that today and I tweeted it today and I was just like, Detroit is like no other place in America. Originally, you're from New Orleans. I will say the same exact thing about New Orleans. I clown D Green all the time because he just always anything New Orleans is like, yeah, that's New Orleans. That's but Detroit is the same way though. Like
Hmm.
you said there are kids going to school with us wearing Pradas but Detroit is like no other place, bro, in that aspect of clothing. I will say that, you know.
I'd say Detroit is a very interesting place. I always describe it as a place that has rules and a place that has laws. And sometimes the laws don't follow the rules, and sometimes rules don't follow the laws. But if you follow the rules, you'll almost always be you'll be a
Safe.
okay. Yeah, you'll be fine. Like
Yeah.
if you're rolling through certain stop signs, it's probably in your best, and nobody's gonna care. You know what I'm saying? But if you break the wrong rule, it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Stop at the wrong gas station, etc.
But
Speaking of that, oh, go ahead. My bad.
no, I was just about to say, but also too, like I actually was in a text thread last night, and it was somebody texted. It was two of my younger frat brothers, and one of them texted and said, "I stand corrected," and he said, "Detroit women top three, not two or three." Right? Because we were having a debate at the time. He's like, "Man, it ain't no girl shit." I'm like, "Bro, listen." What
It's
you have
women
to
there.
understand, yeah, what you have to understand is like you've been here a long time. You go out into the world and come back, and you'll see.
Yeah.
Like there's, yeah, you will develop an appreciation for the Detroit woman. Period. Stop. Like there's no doubt about it. And it was in this moment he was texting back. He was like, yo, I get what you mean. It's like sometimes he's like it's so much about like the attitude, the wherewithal, and the heart, and the way that the people are, and you I imagine you would have the same type of feelings about people from New Orleans. Like people, a lot of times, somebody will tell a story and it'll be like, "Oh yeah, he was from New Orleans." I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that," because like other people be like, "Why he do that?" And I'll be like, "Well, that makes why not?" You know what I'm saying? Like why not?
Right.
I'm
Right.
like,
Right.
well,
Right.
what's the problem? Where's the beef? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm realizing that it's because people born in Southern Louisiana have a slight there
It's just it's different. Yeah.
a slight tick,
It,
and it's just, but being in those two places, like, it's one of the things that I realized because I saw it. It brings me back to a Twitter thread that I saw from somebody with my friends in college who was kind of like, yo, like, not like kind of bashing people who were big into like the African stuff, like African, like kente cloth rather, and all that. But it's kind of like she's like, "Yo, how come?" Like in the episode of Sam J, how come all y'all, African hat wearing folks, kufi wearing folks, got these white girls with you? Like what's going on? Like, why are you trying to find your like and I responded to her and I was like, it's something I've always been curious about. But I realized like both of the places that I spent most of my time growing up are very unique and very individual and very like they're their own. Yeah, somebody from like. In fact, I was going through my phone today looking at pictures, and I saw a picture of me and my sister at Mardi Gras with three random people from Detroit, and I remember taking a picture with them because I was like, "Yo, you're from Detroit, aren't you?" And he was like, "How did you know?" He was like, "How did you know?" I was like, you can tell when you're flying back to Detroit who's gonna be on the flight with you. You know what I'm saying? But like if you were born in Iowa or Kansas City or I don't know, Kansas or Wyoming, where do you identify with?
I I don't know. I don't know at all. But that brings me to another thing that I put on the notes though is some of your possible like favorite pastimes or things to do like when you're just hanging out. Because speaking of Detroit, one of mine is 100%. First of all, I spend the majority of my viewership on YouTube. I watch everything on YouTube. Not like the conspiracy stuff, but just I mean, there's so many videos of just everything out there. But another thing that I enjoy to watch though is Detroit hood flicks, Detroit hood movies, i.e. Buffed Up. They have a show that I text you about that's on Prime Video. It's called McGraw Ave.
Yeah, I
It's
watched the trailer for that. It looks absolutely terrible. Like I tell you like this, like with all due respect, it looks like something that like some of the projects that my sister was in early in her acting career. Like you know
yep,
what I'm saying?
yep,
It's like
yep.
now she started to get picked up at a little bit like it's not. And I obviously all I saw was the trailer, right? So when I say it looks terrible, I have no idea about the acting, no idea about the stories. It could be compelling. Like I'm not giving it any fair shot whatsoever. It's just certainly when you see this like when. And you could even have shows shot on an iPhone, but if it looks like it's shot on an iPhone, that's the problem. You know what I'm
The
saying?
thing is, bro, the acting is always gonna be mediocre. They have like the same dude in like all the hood flicks named Murder Payne, but I actually like him. He's pretty solid. But the thing about like, and not to turn this into a Detroit podcast, but the thing about like the culture of Detroit is like if you appreciate and like the culture, it doesn't matter how bad the film is because you're more so wrapped up in like the culture that is the city. You know
I
what I
will
mean?
say I'll give it a shot because I know this. All that I listen to now is Detroit music. That's it. Especially now that like mainstream music is starting to sound more like Detroit music, and Detroit music has always sounded like this. There's always been a guy banging his elbows on the piano
Correct.
at the start of a Detroit classic song.
Do no 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 do. You like okay. Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam. Like every one of all of that, all of those are piano beats, or it starts out like. But I'll be honest, like now I'm be on Apple Music. Like if I don't hear like "Hell of a Made It," like I don't.
I don't want to hear it. No, it's crazy though how it's crazy how like fashion as well as just like music and inspirations, I guess, kind of like circle and do a I don't know, they do their runs, I guess. They go on a run. Because like
They
right
have,
now, the city of Detroit is on a run. Like Cartier frames, bro. Like
yeah,
15 years ago, nobody outside of the city of Detroit even knew really what Buffy's were, like at all. And now it's hard to even identify who's who or where you from. Like you said, 15 years ago, if you on a plane in Detroit, everybody got on a pair of buffs. I know you going to the city, but
yeah.
now it, people wearing Cartiers, and it's like I don't know. Are you from Detroit or are you just appropriating the culture that is Detroit?
I've long said I don't need glasses, right? Excuse me. I thought I didn't need glasses. I went and I got my eyes checked. Apparently, I have astigmatism. The glasses that they gave me
Oh,
made my vision worse. So I'm like, I took them off. I see you just fine. I can read. That's
yeah, you
4,
good. Yeah.
3. I'm getting busy. Okay. Driving at night is tough, so I just don't do it. But um, I've
Somebody you
since
wouldn't
I've
want to wear.
but if I ever need glasses full time, I don't care what the style is in the world, they will be some straight back woods, not buffs, because I'm gonna wear them every day. They're gonna be my glasses.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like I'm gonna wear they're gonna be my everyday. This is what I wear to work. This is what I wear to school. This is what I wear to pick the kids up from daycare. But they will be a pair of straight back woods, like with the glass, with just the glass, with the no frame, the rimless rimless woods. Because I
Yeah.
mean, listen, I don't know. Maybe it's just because back in 2006, 7, there were people getting killed over those glasses.
I mean, I
But
think they still are in the
that
city
is
at least.
true. That is true. I'm sure I shouldn't laugh like that. But back in that day, like that was a deal. That was the situation. Those were the ones that everybody wanted, and those are the ones that I want. Because at this point, I actually can maybe potentially afford them. I haven't looked at a price in ages, but
Three bands, like 3,000, 3,000.
I'll just have to get some insurance. I mean, but that's the other thing. I would have insurance. I have vision
Oh, okay.
insurance.
100%, 100%.
Exactly. So we're not necessarily doing this in the parking lot of West Bloomfield High School, as the most of the Cartier deals I witnessed occurred. Very few in
That's where I got my
very few in store purchases.
yeah, got my wires from the parking lot. Then I ended up getting robbed for them.
There's a pair of wire Cartier frames in, I don't know where they are now. Actually, they used to be in Michigan, but he sold the house. They're somewhere in a box.
Yeah, right. There you go. There you go, man. Good old city. Um, so I did put this in the notes too. And it's like super, super random, but that's what this show is. So, worst job ever and random dream job. Like, and I don't mean like, oh, I wanted to
Oh
be
man.
on. I don't
So
mean like I want to be on
somebody
air.
just texted me. Wait, time out. Somebody just texted me and said, "What are buffs? Buffs are Cartier frames.
What?
Okay, buffs are Cartier frames, and the most recent iteration of buffs on the national stage. Just go watch the NBA draft. You'll see Cade Cunningham selected first overall, and he
He had
pulled
some
the
black ones
buffs
on though.
out. But you know what? People on Twitter made a good point. You have to earn the white buffs.
Yeah, it
You
had to
have to
start
earn
out.
the straight back white marble buffs. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And I believe I this is that it's been so long. At one point I looked them up, but I believe they're called buffs. There's something to do with buffalo. It's like supposed to be
Yeah,
like the
they are.
yeah,
Buffalo frame. Buffalo
yeah.
frames.
That's why they're
You can
called buffs.
you can go to the Cartier website and look at them. In the city of Detroit, most people I believe get their yays from Hutch's Jewelry. I've never been there, but that's like the go to spot. They fix them up or whatever.
Again, most people I saw get their Cartier glasses got it in the parking lot of West Bloomfield High School.
That's valid. That's I mean same word. That's where I got my products.
But I forgot the question you asked me before I got that text.
Oh, I just threw something out there. I said random dream job.
Oh,
Like what was your
random
job?
dream job? Well, honestly, I'm in the process of trying to acquire it. So if I get it, I'll make an announcement on this podcast. How about that?
Nah,
Um,
see, no. That's not what I'm saying. That's
all
not
right.
what I'm saying. I say when I say random dream job, I mean like okay, like mine was of course I could say like I want to be in the NFL or I want to play
I know what you mean already.
I
I
mean
wanted to be a
like
taxi driver.
yeah, something that you would not really do, but
I wanted two things. I wanted to be a bartender, which
okay, I
I
would
haven't
also
done. I wanted to be a bartender. I haven't done that. I wanted to be a taxi driver. I thought being a taxi driver would be like a cool job, and so I drove Uber for like 2 years.
and realize that it was not a cool job.
But I mean, I feel like I got my fix.
Yeah, so what was your experience with Uber like then?
I was doing it all in Michigan. I was doing it all. I say in Michigan, at Michigan, in University of Michigan. So it was very like, there would be times I'd pick people up that I had recognized, or like, because I was just a few years out of school myself. So it wasn't like the whole thought process behind those two jobs is I thought they were cool because you kind of like were front facing, you had to talk to people in the same way that I don't know, maybe it's the same way I lean into this radio hosting stuff like that, just being able to connect with people at your job. But like nobody was really talking to me in the back of the Uber when they just wanted to hear like, can you play Miley Cyrus? And I'm just like, yeah, no, this car
What
doesn't
about
have an aux. You got to think of the people I'm picking up at the University of Michigan on a Thursday night.
yeah, true indeed, true indeed. I drove Uber
No,
as well. It wasn't quite 2 years. It was I don't know, maybe it was random. The thing I will say about Uber is I applaud the Uber drivers, Uber, Lyft, shit, taxi. Just because like you have to be in a serious like different mind state to know that I'm gonna get in my car. I have no idea of really what the destination is. I can pick the time that I'm done, but only really roundabout because if you pick somebody up and you got to take them an hour away or 45 minutes away, then that's what you got to do. Um, so you can pick a roundabout time, but for the most part, you're stepping into your car and turning it into like your business. Whereas like your car is usually your luxury, like a
right.
luxury thing, I guess, and you're turning it into a business. So it's like it's a different mental space to be in, man. I didn't really enjoy it that much. I didn't like having to get gas all the time and running my miles up on my car. I ran my miles up crazy. And I was like, nah, this ain't it. Because everything in Dallas is spread apart, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I no longer do those jobs. But I did, to your overarching point, those are the ones that I did want to do, like as a kid growing up. But I think they all fall into the same realm of a job, and where you're kind of in front of people and talking to people, and that's kind of like the situation. And I don't know. I think that's was always the lean for me.
Yeah. Um, growing up, of course, this episode is wavy. But so for myself, I always had like a whole bunch of random stuff that I would just be like super interested in. One, it maybe I don't know, maybe one of those. But I wanted to be like an actor, I guess. Like I definitely want like I didn't I knew I was never gonna execute that. It wasn't a real like goal, but it was I
Hmm.
always wanted to be like in a movie or something like that. I love movies. I love things like that. And another is like construction. Like, and I know that's achievable. Like, just like being a taxi driver is achievable for me.
Hmm.
But like, I wanted to like, like, because I always had an admiration for the guys in the vest that was like laying concrete and stuff like that, like and building homes and stuff. Just because I don't know how to do it. Like, I can hammer a nail, sure, but overall, like, I ain't building too much of shit. You know, you know what I'm saying? So it's always just been
Yeah,
interesting
no,
to me, like, to see
that's all you, pal. That is, I have no
that.
desire to build my own house.
I'm not going to.
No, I'm
I'm
just
not
saying,
going
like,
to.
quote unquote, build my own house. Like, what is, men, the old saying. I don't subscribe to it, but the idea of, men say, "What do you bring to the table?" Women say, "Did you build the table?" Like, I have no desire to build the table. I'll bring things to the table that's pre-built. Okay, let's, like, I'll go to
My
the
mom,
store and then bring some things to the table.
my mom told me like so as a younger kid, and I still kind of struggle with this. Just a transparent moment of like if I get frustrated, I'm like, man, this I don't want to do this, man. Like because it'll frustrate me, right, or whatever. So I would build things, i.e. a computer desk or something for my little sister. I'm 13 years older than her, and so I'm sure I helped put a crib or something together, right? And it would be frustrating at times. And so my mom told me at a young age, yo, you're either gonna be the guy that is paying somebody else to do things for you, or you're gonna do it yourself. And when she said it, I think her goal was to like put me in the mental state of like, all right, I'm gonna go out there and do it myself. I looked her
Yeah, no,
square in the face and I was like, I'm gonna pay. like
it's
I'm gonna
all
save
about.
my mental. like
It's
I'm,
it's
I'm gonna
it's
pay.
it's the time benefit analysis. It's should I fly or drive? It's the time benefit and now time cost. Is should I fly or drive? How much stress is doing this going to cause me? Yes, like, and how much money can I afford to not have that stress?
Straight up. I mean, now as I've become a man and I'm 30, I'll be 31 next month. Um, I I have gotten a lot better with like doing things that are achievable on my own. Where it's like like the crib in the room I put together, the dresser put together, stuff like hey, might be frustrating at times or whatever. As a matter of fact, last night I just put together a monitor stand for my wife in her woman cave, she calls it. But all that to say that I'm still kind of the same though. Like I'll try it, but if it doesn't work out, I
I'm
pay.
not stressing about it. I'm not about to
I'm
stress.
not
Well,
stressing at all.
I'm not about to lose any sleep over this, pal. None.
In a little bit, not even a little bit. So I would ask the question, yeah. So which are you? But you've already told me.
I
You're
put
gonna pay.
together a lot of stuff in this. I've put together a lot though in here, but I'm decently handy. But there's like that's what I know myself. Like, I can fix the dishwasher probably, but like, but if I haven't gone, if it's not fixed in step 3, I'm not going to step 4. I'm calling somebody else.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I can't do it. I like you said, I'd rather save my mental health, man, and I'll find another way to get it done, or I ask somebody for help. I mean, if I might not be able to do it, but I'll know somebody that can do it. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely the man that asks for help. So believe that.
Ask somebody for help, dude. It's people out here that's really like halfway struggling because they won't inquire and say, "Hey, do you know how to do this, or can you help me with this?" Hey, utilize your resources. That's key. That's key to life.
Right.
I'm telling you.
My last random thing that I have today: water bottles with this type of top are the worst. Why do I have a
Terrible.
pacifier top on this water bottle? Why?
I was about
Why?
to say you look like my daughter.
You
She'll
look like
drink
a
one.
kid, like, and then you can't even drink it without, like, I'm all I want is a sip of water. That's it. You hear my voice? I've been talking for an hour straight. All I want is a sip of water, and I sound like I'm sucking on a pacifier. I hate it here.
Yeah. No, those Gatorade, the ones that came with the little, they were always the worst. Like, who invented this? I think it was so that you could like waterfall. Do you call it a waterfall? What do you call it?
Oh, whatever. Sure.
You know, if somebody
Yeah.
says to you, "Hey, let me have some of that," what do you call it?
I didn't. You guys called it waterfall, and you got to Michigan, but there was never like it was just let me get some
I'm
here.
not even. I'm not sure that we called it waterfall in Michigan. Like that's kind of a new thing. I was more so, yeah. Let me hit that.
I will say this. I will say this. The idea, the thing before that people used to do in Michigan beforehand. Like if somebody asked me for my thing, I'll just be like, "You can have it, bro." Like I don't want it that much. But the concept of this right here,
Mm-hmm.
and they handed it back to somebody. And for those who are watching, it's the idea that I just poured this thing
Waterfall,
yeah,
waterfall.
like
Yeah.
that was brand new to me when I got to Michigan high school.
People didn't do that in Louisiana.
Wasn't giving myself to people. Somebody asked me, "Oh, can I get some of that?" I'd be like, "You just had the rest of it, bro. Here, you
Oh
can't get your
no,
own. Take it."
we share all the time. It would always be like, "Hey, yo, let me hit that, bro. Here you go.
No,
You hit some." Now with COVID, I'm pretty sure that's got to be the end of the let me, because I can't tell you the last time I really hit somebody else's beverage, like like that wasn't my
mm.
significant other. Like I can't tell you the last time I tasted a drink that belonged to another person, nonetheless a man.
I don't
That's
do that with anybody. What's mine is
yeah, that's
mine. And then what's yours is yours.
that's
But
quite. I mean, my wife shares everything with me to the point where it could be annoying at times because it's like, yo, like you have the ability to get a glass and you would be able to enjoy it a lot more, but you know,
yep. But
yeah, that's what you sign up for. But yeah, man, nah. Shout out to the D. I feel like today was definitely a heavily Detroit focused pod, but man, I haven't been to Michigan in 4 years.
I've been twice in
You were
at
just there,
least
but you were
three.
just there
I just
for
was just there.
high
Yeah,
school.
I've
Yeah,
spent enough time in Michigan, but I do have to run because I'm about to
yeah.
go to the Drew League All Star game. So
Somebody's flexing. Well, to close this
I
out,
mean, I just got to run. Sorry.
I do want to say real quick, and I meant to say this in the beginning of the podcast, but one of our friends from high school passed, Brielle Edwards, this week, so I do want to send condolences to her family. They may or may not ever hear this, but regardless, we have a platform, and she was a really good person. So, so that, but to keep up with us on all things social, make sure you follow us at So Let Me Ask You This on all things social. It is just a you. And other than that, until then, till the next time, y'all be safe. You know what I mean? Wear your mask and go get
And,
vaccinated.
and to your point, rest in peace, Brielle. I knew her for a long time.
Straight up.